What's going on, everyone? So, we pretty much know, if not confirmed, that Stab is going to be in Scream 5 in some capacity. The reason it's pretty much confirmed is Tori Spelling said almost as much in a Clubhouse interview. I did a video on that, as well as Heather Graham was asked and paid for her footage of Stab in Scream 2. So, it's extremely likely that they would have Stab in Scream 5, because why else go through all this trouble of getting all the original Stab people and paying them and getting and securing the footage just to not have Stab in some form or another in this upcoming film. It just makes too much sense that we are going to get it. Now, as far as what capacity, there are all kinds of theories and ideas, from a documentary to just, I presented the idea of like a reboot, since that is the trend in the sort of horror universe right now. You know, all these classic horror films are being rebooted or remade, and Scream has always maintained that meta aspect, that sort of poking fun of that the times in horror. And so I could really see a Stab reboot in Scream 5. But one thing I really want to talk about is sort of the documentary idea and aspect, and also how the OG3 could tie in. I want to present this idea, have a discussion with you all. As always, get your opinion down in the comments below and see what you all think. But before we jump into it, be sure to like this video. It helps me out a lot, lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Let's get into it. So, let's go off of the assumption that we know Stab is going to be in this film in some capacity. Let's go off of the assumption that we know the documentary is going to be in this film in some capacity. And I know this theory is probably going to upset a lot of you and a lot of the fandom, and I don't even know how I'd really feel about this theory. It's just something that sort of would make sense with what is said, and that is, what if Scream 5 is actually a Stab movie? Now, think about it. Like, it would make sense why we'd have an entirely new cast in this film. It would explain why they went and got the original Stab people, because if they're doing a reboot, they would want to incorporate those original people in some aspects, you know, show flashbacks of the previous film. It also explains so much that has been said and presented by the producers and sort of leaks that have been put out. And first off, you might be thinking like, well, where do the OG3 play in? You know that the OG3 are going to be in this film, so how do they play in? Well, that's where the documentary comes in. I mean, the original Stab was based around the whole idea that, you know, Sydney's story, not even idea, it's what happened. It's the tale of Sydney. And yes, I know Sydney said that she would sue the Stab company if this ever happened, but if Stab, the new Stab, the reboot, has nothing to do with the Sydney story, it's these new characters that are, you know, creating this new film, then no. And why would Sydney be a part of the documentary? Well, what if Joel and Gail are a part of that documentary? What if they're the ones that are doing the documentary for promotion to lead up for this Stab film? Sydney stepping out of darkness, trying to be a hero again and sort of be in the light again. It would make sense, you know, that she say, okay, yeah, I'll do it for Gail. I'll do it for Joel. Like, you know, they're my friends. Like, I'll help them and be in little parts of that. It also is a way to sort of move off the OG3 without having them be killed or be, you know, targeted. And what did this producers say? They said that they're going to take big chances, that things are going to be completely different, that this is going to be, you know, a focus on the new characters and their story and all that stuff. Like, what if the reveal is that this is just a Stab movie? You know, and it sort of plays into that meta aspect. They said this movie is going to have huge meta. It would explain all the flashbacks that are said to be in this film. You know, you would have all those flashbacks of the previous, you know, film, because you have the Stab universe in the Scream universe. So they're sort of mirroring each other. It's almost like a movie in a movie. Kind of like what they were trying to do in the opening scene, you know, with all this stuff of Scream 4, you know, where they, you know, try to go movie in a movie in a movie. It would sort of be that aspect, but in a more methodical way. You know, you're seeing an actual, you know, ghost face attack and all of this unfold, but it's not reality. Reality is the documentary. But you're sitting there thinking, like, what is what? Like, what is the documentary? What is the reality? And that is part of the game of us trying to figure it out. It would also explain why they changed the ghost face mask slightly, because, you know, it wouldn't be Scream, it would be Stab. You know, and you're playing this game of who's who and what's what, but in reality, like, the documentary is the actual real world, and this sort of Stab universe with all these new characters are the new franchise, the new film, and that is going to be a trilogy. And I get it, a lot of people are going to think, like, that's really stupid, like, that makes no sense, it's dumb, but it does. I mean, if you really boil it down and think about it, a lot of it does add up, a lot of it would make sense. I mean, you could even tie it in, you could even expand this theory and idea, now that I'm thinking about it. You could actually have a real Ghostface sort of mirroring and attacking the Stab cast or something like that. So now you have, like, this 3 layers of meta in this grand scheme of things. I just think it'd be a really cool, interesting idea. As always, these are just discussion videos. You know, I just present an idea that pops into my head, or have a discussion with somebody, and you know, we theorize this stuff, and then boom, that's what happens. So all this is just a theory that I want to hear from you. Let's have a discussion on it. Let's talk about it and get your opinion, get your take. Because, again, I just think it would be a nice sort of creative way to, because it's the 5th installment. I mean, how fresh can this movie be? How many new ideas can they do? How many times can we have Sydney's cousins, brothers, nephews, you know, niece come out of the hiding, come out of the woodworks? And it, you know, and yes, we could theorize, we could speculate. You know, people, you know, say they don't want the same old tropes. Like, anything we get is going to be a trope. When it comes to this film, people are either going to hate it or love it. This is either going to be a great film to some or a terrible film to others. You know, so, like, be creative. Let's try something new. Let's try something out of the box and see what sticks, you know? I mean, this is a little bit out of the box. I get it, you know. Like, let me stress that this isn't like, you know, I don't even know how I feel about this. I think execution is everything. If it's done correctly and it's done in a way that's believable and presentable and sort of has us in the mix of what's going on and all this craziness and what is this and what is that, like, how, like, what is going on here, and we're just trying to put these pieces to the puzzle together, then absolutely, I think it could be a great story. I think it could be a great idea and really sort of fill in a lot of the gaps, explain a lot of what the rumors and speculations are going on, a lot of what the producers have said. It explains sort of the OG3. It explains, you know, the documentary that's been rumored. It explains why the Stab cast is in. I mean, it just explains so many elements, and execution is key. Anything can be a great film if it's done correctly. Any idea is a great idea if it's executed correctly. So same thing with this. If this is executed correctly and it's a great idea, then I'm all for it, and I'd be interested to see it. But again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. And if you haven't yet, be sure to like this video. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos. And last little plug, most of you know, for those of you that don't, you got to subscribe to the channel, because we have the Funko Pop Scream Ghostface giveaway. I'm, again, just waiting for the shipment to get here. Should be here in about another week. I'm going to inspect it, make sure everything's good to go, make sure there's none damaged or anything like that. And then I will do the official video where I start putting everything together to give some of these away to you all. So all you got to do right now, subscribe to the channel, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss that video. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.